Hello and good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Absolutely fantastic. What is inside your imagination today? Because you know how to write, and that thing can't just be shut off.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You have done something with your new book that really has touched my wife and I in so many different ways, and we could not wait to share this book with everybody that we came in touch with. You have taken something that we know the story, but you've given it a modern flavor to it.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
To be in this moment, I mean, my wife has so many different questions, as do I. But I mean, the Diary of Anne Frank was it was considered to be required reading in high school. Do you envision your book being the same thing, but done so in a way that is less violent?
Well, you know, I'm afraid that the diary is not required reading at so many places.
Not anymore? Wow.
Not anymore. And so my goal with my book would be to have somebody read it and then go read the diary. So that would be my goal.
Wow. One of the things that stands out inside this book, and it's only because I believe in animal speak, the magpies appear in this story a lot. Is this something that you lived with, or did Anne Frank? Because this is the first time I've heard of this.
No, I think, you know why I think I started writing about those things? Because I started working on this really during COVID.
Yeah.
And during COVID, I felt like, at least the city where I lived, that animals started coming into the city. The cities were kind of deserted. And so all of a sudden we had turkeys, we had coyotes, we had foxes. These were not city creatures. And I thought it's so interesting that when people are destroying things, that nature kind of moves in to take over. So I think that was kind of the symbolism of what was happening with the magpies.
Wow. Keeping history alive requires authors like yourself to have the courage and the confidence to keep pushing a story forward. And in my heart, I believe that people have lost what's been going on with the Anne Frank story.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think that was one of the reasons that, the Anne Frank House was very interested in this project, incredibly helpful, and their researchers and historians were great. And I think that was part of the reason, is that to make it be alive, to make history be alive and current, and have people remember what happened so that we don't have it happening again.
Yeah. Anne seemed to be the type of person who always found a positive in things. She was always thinking about the future, and there had to be a positive. Did this pour into your heart as well?
100%. I mean, I think that's why she so appealed to me when I was, 12 years old, because I was not a positive person, and reading her book really inspired me. I mean, her idea that there was still good to be found, even in the most horrific circumstances, was something that was very meaningful for me, and I think for all of her readers.
Now, will you ever release a version of this book with tinier print? And here's the reason why. Because when my wife first picked up the book, she goes, "This must be a YA book." And I said, "You need to read this book, because don't think of it just because it has bigger letters." And I think that people judge a book by the size of the font.
Isn't that interesting? Well, I always like big font myself.
Me too.
So I don't know. And that doesn't bother me at all. I feel like it's also a really great book to read with your kids.
Yes.
I think that is a really great thing to do. But for me, this book is for everyone. I'm always writing for myself. So, in a way, I wrote this book for myself. So for me, it feels like, yes, it's a children's book and children can read it, but I also feel like it's really meant for everyone.
When I was in middle school, of course, it was way back in the 70s. So that meant that when we read the story about Anne Frank, it was more of a black and white world. In my heart, while reading this book, it almost feels like you've colorized it to the point where we go, "Oh my God, it's like it's right here."
That's so interesting. Well, I feel like I wanted to get the sense that I wanted to give the sense that it wasn't that far away, because it wasn't that far away. I mean, the Anne Frank House opened in 1960. That's not that long ago. And sometimes we see it in black and white, like it happened so long ago. But I wanted it to feel very current, so I really appreciate that.
What did you learn in doing the research? Because, I mean, it's always been here in front of us, but you actually took the necessary steps to go back into the past to bring it forward.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that really affected me was to see how the politics were changing all around these people, and they didn't see it because it happened very slowly. They had to give their names, they had to give their addresses, they couldn't go out at night. It's like a slow progression, and then all of a sudden they couldn't do anything. and just like the slow build where they were just really taken unawares, and they also didn't want to know because it was so horrifying.
I feel so foolish that I didn't know Anne's life before going into hiding. It seems like that in my memories start with the hiding.
Yeah, well, no, I think that's what it is for all of us. So I think that was one of the interesting things about this book, was to find out, okay, so what happened before that? What led up to this? What was her life like, and the life of her family like before hiding?
Yeah, because we've sat down with our granddaughter and we've explained to her, I said, if you would have been in this period because of your grandmother's history, you would have gone to a concentration camp. And that scared the hell out of her.
Yeah, it is really scary to think about what hatred can do and how people make other people into the other, and tell stories that there's all kinds of different storytelling, but there are stories to scare people, to upset people, to alienate people, and then there are stories to heal people and to remember what really happened.
We need a book like this to help locate peace for tomorrow, and it's going to require the YA readers as well as those that are before them or just a little bit after them, because if you show us empowerment as well as encouragement.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you. I really hope that's what it does.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like I said before, it takes authors like yourself to reach out there, and there's a lot of things to be reaching through, and you're doing this.
Well, thank you. It's something that I really wanted to do. And I feel like, I was so affected by this story, and I wanted people to have that experience of being affected by her story.
Do you feel like that we've lost something? Because, I mean, that's one of the things that you do. You put the importance on remembering and honoring things that we have lost.
Yeah, I think in this modern world, things don't last as long. Things are throwaway, whether it's art or whether it's history, and that people don't remember to the same extent because there's so much information coming in. And I think it's just really important to remember what happened.
Yeah. Was it interesting to you to see that Anne Frank was very playful, that she was witty and mischievous?
Yes, it really was. She was. She got into trouble at school.
See, that's humanizing her. Once again, yes. you have given us the opportunity to see a different side of history.
Yes, I think it's really important to humanize it and to have her be a real person, not just an icon, but a real person.
Yeah. What do you foresee when it comes to this book getting out there into the hands of readers?
Well, my hope is always that, people will have a personal response, a personal reaction, that it will be meaningful for them, that it will be to them what the books that I love are to me, and that, they'll carry it with them and want to know more about it.
Yeah. Do you find yourself doing other books of history like this in the years to come?
I'm not sure. It's really a lot of work.
Yeah.
This was a very special book, and I so wanted to do it, and it was kind of a full circle moment for me, having started wanting to be a writer, because of this book, and then having the honor to work on this book. So, I don't know what's going to happen next, to tell you the truth.
Did you send a copy to the museum?
They have it, yes, they did.
Oh, God, that's got to be so special.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. They have been great.
Wow, I wish you could have been in the living room when I handed my wife this book, because her world stopped. She literally looked at the book and she was like, and it shook something inside of her, and I think other people are going to feel the same way.
Oh, thank you. I hope so, and please thank her for me.
Are you going to work your way into making a modernized documentary, or do we let history handle that?
That is out of my hands.
Okay.
I don't know what that is. I mean, for me, the great thing about books is that it's so personal, it's so intimate. I feel like reading is not like anything else, and so I'm just thinking of it as the book.
That's so interesting you say that, because that's how I feel about radio with Zoom and all that kind of stuff. People go, "How come I can't see your face?" Because I'm a radio guy. Because that's what it's all about. Same is true with reading for you then.
Right. It's very intimate. It's personal. And, you're speaking directly to somebody. It's very similar in that way.
Wow. Where can people go to find out more about you and so they can grow with you and give you some love?
Oh, that's so nice. Well, they can go to I have a Facebook page, an Instagram page at A. Hoffman Writer, and I also have a website, www.alicehoffman.com, or you can go to Scholastic, the publisher. They have an Instagram page and a website, and you can find out information there.
Please come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you so much. You be brilliant today, okay?
Thank you.